Hi, my name is Leslie, she, her pronouns. I'm currently double majoring in environmental science and environmental studies with an emphasis social justice and a minor in race and resistance. The first encounter I've ever had really in terms of environmental justice was in high school when I was in 11th grade and I took my first environmental class. I was exposed to a lot of things, a lot of problems that were surrounding me and my community, and didn't really realize how much of a problem it was. I started a group called Go Green in my senior year, and we focused on really implementing a recycling system. And from there, I just started getting involved with community garden in LA. One of the programs I worked with was Enrich LA, which focused on really implementing gardens in elementary school so kids have more exposure to being closer to nature and the city. And from there, I just went and traveled. I got a scholarship and I did environmental work abroad. So I was working in Zambia. And from there, I just continued and came to college after my year off. And I knew I wanted to do environmental science, and it was something that I always wanted. When I talk about environmental justice and the intersection of when we talk about racism and food politics, poverty, I just think of food justice. Food justice is such a perfect example in our society right now because we have communities of color where we have McDonald's in these communities. Why do we have all these McDonald's, all these big corporations really taking our communities when we could have community gardens where we could take these spaces and create or support local businesses? Me growing up, a lot of the food I ate was not quote unquote healthy, but that was the only thing we could afford growing up. My grandma has diabetes, my mom has diabetes, my grandpa has diabetes. So there's a lot of diabetic people in my life. And when we talk about this, it's like food is a big thing of why there's a lot of diabetics within the Latinx community or just specifically people of color. Like, I think we really need to advocate for more affordable organic foods. We need to really advocate not just receiving food, but advocate for farmers' right. We need to advocate when we think of food, we need to understand that what we're eating is also politics. Just because I choose to be vegan in a Western society, I also have to be conscious that my veganism isn't gonna end some quote unquote something. My reason of being vegan is because a lot of companies, specifically the meat industry, contributes a lot to greenhouse gases. But aside from environmental factors, there's also a lot of mistreatment within the working community in these industries. And a lot of people who work in these industries are people of color. And it's something we have to be conscious when we buy things. And it's not only for meat, it goes for fruit, it goes for anything that we eat. Being vegan isn't going to solve that. It isn't until we start advocating for those rights. How are we going to contribute to the community? How could we fix this? How could we do this for a long term? Growing up, I had a grandma who was a curandera in her village, and what she did was she did a lot of healing with plants. So for me growing up, I was just like, well, like this is cool, but like I never appreciated it till I got to college. Now that I'm in college, it's all these things my grandma did, like from healing with sage or using mezcal or using anything that was produced by earth. Really, I didn't really acknowledge how much I grew up with this and how much it influenced me. My grandma was a big influence with a lot of herbal medicine. I remember growing up and she would be mad if we would use like NyQuil. She'd be like, why are you using that? Like, that's not gonna heal you. Drink ginger and drink tea. I think now that I'm in college and really being aware of what even self-healing is, I didn't think that was a thing. My entire life I was just like, okay, you gotta kind of take it. Just take it. It's okay. Take it. But no, I think self-healing is a really big part of being a person. And I think that's a lot of self-growth. And I was privileged that I was exposed to that. You have to really check yourself and understand you're doing a lot of growth, but also understand that you still have a lot of growing to do.